He's not supposed to be on the court.
It don't
He's
matter.
not supposed to be on the court.
Giannis talked to him. Forget all that.
No, he was on the court.
So what?
You think he said something? He probably didn't know who his dad is.
Stop it. Giannis said something to him.
No, because he's on the court in his face.
So what? Everybody on the court.
You can't do that.
Yeah, you can.
No, you cannot do that.
Giannis said something to him.
I'm happy for him, and I'm happy for his son, and I'm happy that he's happy for his son. That's how you're supposed to feel. But coming to me and disrespecting me and cursing at me, I think is totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. Okay? And the wrong question. There's no failure in sports. You know, there's good days, bad days. Some days you are able to be successful, some days you're not. Some days it's your turn, some days it's not your turn. And that's what sports is about. You don't always win.
Giannis didn't hold back. He aired it all out. On live TV, Shaq and Tyrese Haliburton's dad got roasted, and it was wild. Shaq tried to play defense for the craziest fan-dad moment we've seen in ages, but it backfired hard. This whole circus kicked off with a towel, a crushing finals loss, and a grown man acting like he was the star of the show. But the real explosion? That came when Giannis finally said what nobody in the NBA dared to admit. Haliburton's pops crossed the line. No debate. And Shaq backing him up? Straight up embarrassing. Giannis had to step in like, "You're not gonna flip this on me. I'm not the bad guy here."
Having a fan, which at the moment I thought he was a fan, but then I realized it was Tyrese's son, which I love. Tyrese, I think, is a great competitor. He was his dad, sorry. Coming in the floor and showing me his son a towel with his face. This is what we do. This is what we effing do. This is the F we do. This. I feel like that's very, very disrespectful. You know.
Here's the real rundown of what went down. It was Game 5. The Indiana Pacers just snatched a win from the Milwaukee Bucks, 119-118, with only 1.3 seconds left on the clock. Emotions were at a boiling point. Players dapping each other up, coaches hollering, the whole arena buzzing. And then, out of nowhere, here comes John Haliburton, Tyrese's dad, storming the court like he's subbing into the game. Security nowhere to be found. This man walks straight up to Giannis, towel in hand, shoving it right in his face with Tyrese's picture on it. Giannis was already standing there, hands on hips, fuming from the loss, when Pops rolled up talking reckless.
I'm not the guy that points fingers because in my neighborhood, snitches get stitches. So I don't want to say something, for him to say, to get fined or anything. But it's not respectful. I talked with him at the end.
At first, Giannis thought he was just some wild fan. He even said, "At that moment, I thought he was a fan." But nope. Turns out it was Tyrese's own father, stepping onto the court, flexing his son's towel, saying, "This is what we do. This wasn't just some casual trash talk. Nah, it was way deeper." Giannis straight up hinted that if he really told the full story, the NBA would be scrambling. He even said, "I don't want to drop all the details. I don't want to be a snitch." Then he hit him with the realest line, "I come from the hood. If I open my mouth on what really happened, courtrooms, NBA bans." That's heavy. Giannis kept it chill on the outside, but come on. We all know that means something serious went down, way beyond the usual sportsmanship stuff. But here's where the drama turns up. While folks were rightfully calling out Haliburton's dad for acting like some wild, out-of-pocket fan, Shaq jumped on inside the NBA and went full defense mode. Shaq was like, "He always be on the court. He just celebrating. Let him have his moment." Excuse me, what? Then Shaq had the nerve to call Giannis soft for getting mad? He even said it's stupid for anybody to be offended by a dad getting hyped.
I don't care. He's always on the court.
He should not be on the court talking to other players.
Bro, Giannis said something to him. He didn't say
came up
nothing
to
to
Giannis.
No, he did not.
No, that's not true. He couldn't have said
walking
anything
in the line
to
behind
him.
his son. No,
He
no,
should.
no.
What do you mean walking in line behind his son? He shouldn't be on the court. He didn't play in the game.
Always on the court.
No, he shouldn't be.
That's when the internet lost it. Fans dragged Shaq up and down every timeline. No mercy. Let this sink in. Tyrese himself admitted his pops was out of pocket. He said it straight up. "I don't think my pops was in the right at all there. Real talk, that was unfortunate."
Emotions of the game, just got excited there. But I talked with him, I'll talk with Giannis eventually about it. Just, I don't think that my pops was in the right at all there. And unfortunate, what happened in the end there. But,
He even told reporters He needs to let me play and stay in his seat. I'll come to him if we win. Now that's how you handle grown man business.
But I think we had a conversation, and I think he just needs to just allow me to just play basketball, stay over there. I'll come to him to celebrate. But
Tyrese didn't even try to sugarcoat it. Respect for keeping it real. After all that madness, the Pacers had to step in. They sat John Haliburton down and told him point blank, he's banned from attending any more home or away games, at least for now. And guess what? He agreed. Yup. Man's officially banned from watching his own son play in person. Team made the call, he understood it, and took it on the chin. But here's the wild part that barely anyone's talking about unless you really dig deep. There's a clip where folks think Tyrese's mom might have low-key smacked Giannis. Yeah, for real. Rewind it. Look close. There's this one angle where the woman standing right behind John swings her hand. It wasn't no cheer, fam. Some viewers swear she caught Giannis with a quick slap in the heat of the moment. Crazy! Was it on purpose? Who knows? But be honest, if that was anybody else's mom, every headline would be screaming, "Family attacks Giannis!" And even after all that mess, Giannis still gave John Haliburton a thumbs up as they walked off. Real classy move. That's how hard Giannis tried to stay classy, even after being disrespected and taunted right after a brutal playoff loss. But if you thought it ended there, think again. Shaq wasn't done. He doubled down on live TV like he was ready to fight for this nonsense.
He's not supposed to be on the
talk to
court.
him. It don't
He's
matter.
not supposed to be on the court.
Giannis talked to him. Forget all that.
No, he was on the court.
So what?
You think he said something? He probably know who his dad is.
Stop it. Giannis said something.
No,
to him.
because he's on the court in his face.
So what? Everybody
no,
on the
you can't
court.
do that. So
No.
you think his dad
Rules
was
with grace
correct?
and
His dad was 100% wrong.
Giannis is wrong?
Bro, Giannis said something to him.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did.
No, he not.
Look, right there.
No, his dad
Giannis
is coming
talking
up
to
to
him.
him. What is
Giannis
his
is
dad
talking to
doing on
him.
the court?
Giannis
His dad is not supposed to be on the court.
dad is
You
always
can
on
yell
the
as
court
much as you
every
want
game.
to. He's an idiot. If you think that's right, you're an idiot too.
Till the bitter end, the very next night on Inside the NBA, Ernie asked Shaq to explain why he was riding so hard for John Haliburton's actions. Instead of cooling off, Shaq turned up, raised his voice, got defensive, and started barking back. Chuck and Kenny tried to jump in, calm it down, but Shaq did what he always does when he knows he's wrong but too proud to say it. He talked over everybody. You could even see Ernie's face. Man looked uncomfortable, like, is Shaq really out here defending people storming the court? The internet didn't waste a second. People clapped back fast. One comment said, "Not even sure what point Shaq's trying to make. Haliburton's dad was wrong." Everyone agrees on that. What exactly is Shaq defending here? Another dropped, "Shaq's ego too damn big. He ain't defending Haliburton's dad. He just want to flex on Giannis for showing emotion." But here's the coldest one. Shaq loud and wrong per usual. If Giannis kicked Haliburton's dad, then what? He shouldn't be on the court. He a fan. Reddit, Twitter, YouTube. Every corner of the internet was dragging Shaq. Folks even brought up that time Shaq himself bragged about punching 5 people across 6 different teams during his career. Yeah, receipts came flying out. Meanwhile, Giannis didn't run to no talk show. He didn't sneak in subtweets. He waited, then dropped his truth.
I'm not the guy that points fingers because in my neighborhood, snitches get stitches. So I don't want to say something, for him to say to get fined or anything. But it's not respectful. I talked with him at the end.
Being humble doesn't mean staying quiet. People started connecting the dots, saying maybe this was Giannis's way of sending a message. You don't run this league anymore. Stop defending clowns, man. Funny how Shaq once said Giannis was better than he ever was at 24. But ever since then, the internet never let Shaq forget it. And now it feels like he's salty about it. Fast forward, Giannis is a full-blown MVP, Finals MVP, and one of the cleanest, most respected players in the league. But now, Shaq's low-key bitter seeing how much love this new generation gives Giannis. You can feel it. One fan on X even said, "Shaq needs help. That take was so wrong." Let's be real. Shaq's jealousy is loud at this point. And this isn't the first time Giannis had to hold his tongue to keep the peace. The deeper you look, the more obvious it is. Giannis has been swallowing his pride for years. Truth is, Giannis has always been one of the league's most respectful stars, never the type to stir drama, never ran to Twitter fingers when folks took shots. But now, He's done playing humble. Y'all crossed the line this time. What Haliburton's dad pulled wasn't just fan behavior. It got personal. Remember 2021? Bucks won the championship. What was the first thing analysts said? Giannis got lucky. That was a fluke. He only won because KD's shoe was too big. Even after Giannis dropped a historic 50-point game to close out the finals, people still tried to doubt him. Now, that moment when Giannis said, "I come from the hood, I don't want to be a snitch," it hit different. That wasn't just talk. It was years of biting his tongue finally bubbling up. And now, he's making it clear he's not here to be disrespected anymore. That hit different, man. That wasn't some polished, media-trained Giannis. That was the real Giannis talking. The same Giannis who used to hustle watches on the street, crash in one bed with his brothers, and share sneakers with Thanasis because they couldn't afford a second pair. Folks don't know. Back in Greece, Giannis faced racism, poverty, and even immigration threats. And through all that, he still made it out. So when Giannis said, "If I speak on what happened, there'll be lawsuits," he wasn't bluffing. He meant it. Haliburton's dad probably said or did something way out of line. Stuff that would have turned this whole thing into a legal mess way beyond basketball. Some fans even suspect racial slurs got thrown around. And honestly, I believe it. But here's the wildest part. No fines, no public statement, no security changes, nothing. If this had been some random fan storming the court and getting in Giannis's face, they'd be banned for life, no question. But because it was a player's dad, the league just looked the other way. Think about it. What if Giannis had pushed John Haliburton back? You really think the media would be calling him classy then? No way. ESPN, Fox Sports, Bleacher Report, they would have dragged Giannis through the mud instantly. And that's exactly where Shaq's weak logic falls apart again. He's out here acting like it's no big deal. But let's not forget, Shaq himself admitted to getting physical with folks during his career. And guess what? Here's another story that proves Shaq's not one to talk. Remember when Shaq roasted JaVale McGee for like a whole year straight? Man ran a whole segment on Inside the NBA just to clown him. But the second Charles Barkley joked about Shaq's weight, suddenly that was too far. Funny how that works, huh? Shaq picks and chooses who he defends. If you stroke his ego, he's got your back. But if you're a real threat, he'll tear you down. Giannis clearly ain't on that protected list. The vibe is clear. Shaq protects stars who make him feel bigger, and when someone outshines him, he gets petty. This whole drama opened a lot of eyes to the double standards from these so-called old heads in the league. Giannis gets hated for staying quiet. Ja gets roasted for being loud. Steph gets hated for being cocky. LeBron gets hated for being smart with his moves. But when Haliburton's dad acts like a wild toddler in a casino, suddenly that's just passion? Nah, miss me with that nonsense. Now you'd think after all this mess, folks would have moved on, but nope. This Giannis versus Shaq versus Haliburton family saga just keeps spinning. And the NBA staying dead silent, that's only adding fuel to the fire. People are loud about it now. A few hours after the internet dragged him through the mud, Tyrese's dad, John Haliburton, finally put out a public apology. He said, "I sincerely apologize to Giannis, the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Pacers organization for my actions following tonight's game. This was not a good reflection on our sport or my son, and I will not make that mistake again." Sounds polite, right? But the fans weren't buying it for a second. The apology felt forced, like damage control because he got caught, not because he actually felt bad. Now the question is, will this finally push the NBA to tighten up on player safety and fan boundaries? It might have to. People are not letting this slide. They're pointing out how John Haliburton stormed the court like he was the 13th man off the bench, got all up in Giannis's face after a tough playoff loss, mocked him with a towel, and allegedly cursed him out on live TV. Then he tried to sweep it under the rug like, "Oops, my bad." Nah, man, that apology wasn't from the heart. It was straight up PR cleanup. He only said sorry because the Pacers told him he's not allowed back in the building. And facts don't lie. Right after his so-called apology, the Indiana Pacers confirmed that John Haliburton is banned from attending any home or away games for now. So was it real remorse? Or just damage control? You already know the answer. This whole thing exposed how soft the league has gotten when it comes to court security. Be honest, if this was just some random fan pulling that stunt, security would have tackled them, police would have cuffed them, and they'd be banned from NBA arenas forever. But since it was a player's dad, he gets a soft tap on the wrist and a voluntary timeout from games. That's insane. The NBA's acting like this isn't a major safety problem. But what happens when the next hyped-up parent tries to take it further? What if it gets physical next time? This ain't just a Giannis issue anymore. It's a precedent. Next time a fan crosses the line, they'll point to this and say, well, Haliburton's dad did worse and nothing happened. Let's keep it real. Shaq's brand ain't what it used to be. He's become the goofy uncle of basketball media. Sure, folks still got love for him, but this whole situation showed a side of Shaq people weren't ready for. The side that defends disrespect, if it fits his narrative. And since Giannis said he wouldn't spill everything that happened, fans have been filling in the blanks themselves. Wild theories are spreading. One big one is that a racial slur might have been thrown. Honestly, that would explain Giannis's reaction perfectly. Word on the street is the Bucks were ready to press charges, but Giannis told them to let it go. Now that's just speculation. But with how shady the NBA's been about putting out statements, fans are running wild with these theories. Real talk, this whole mess might actually force the league to rethink how they handle court behavior. Don't be shocked if we see new rules coming, player family seating getting pushed back, tighter rules for what fans and family can do after the buzzer, and clear-cut consequences when folks step out of line. 'Cause if the NBA doesn't act quick, they're sending a dangerous message. You can walk up to an NBA star, run your mouth, and walk away clean. That's a problem. And you best believe Giannis is watching all of it. Let's run it back real quick. Giannis got ambushed on the court right after losing a do-or-die playoff game. Haliburton's dad mocked him with a towel, maybe even cursed him out. Giannis kept it classy, but let folks know he ain't with the disrespect. Shaq? He defended the wrong dude and then doubled down when fans and media called him out. Even Tyrese Haliburton admitted his dad messed up. The Pacers banned him from games, but the NBA? Silent. Like they hoping this drama just disappears, but it won't. 'Cause Giannis said what needed to be said. This was disrespectful. I come from the hood. I don't want to snitch, but don't push me. And that made the whole league stop and listen. If you rocked with this, do me a solid, smash that like button. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was Shaq out of pocket for defending Haliburton's dad? Should Giannis have gone further? Should the NBA have stepped in harder? I want to hear what you think. Hit that subscribe button for more real talk, no fluff, all facts every single week. And share this with your crew, 'cause this drama, it ain't over yet. See you on the next one.